Hey, what's up? This is your girl Diamond. I wanted to go live and talk about these bills. We just got some updates on Texas legislation, bills that have been presented. And I wanted to talk about the anti trans bills that are coming down the pipeline for this 89th legislative session here in Texas. And I want to talk about Texas because, it's kind of like I want to say ground zero, but, it's one of the more conservative states. So what they try here, they might try in your area. You feel what I'm saying? So I wanted to talk about it and kind of cover. Now, of course, we know that there's going to be more. We know that they're going to try. They're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall just to see if it works. So they just actually passed a law in Odessa, Texas. Now, Odessa is a small town in West Texas. So I'm pretty sure it might be one or two trans people that live there. So it probably won't affect them, but I don't know. Maybe you just never know. And so, but I can't imagine it's a lot of trans people there. But they just passed a law where they can fine and sue trans people who use the bathroom of their affirmed gender. They can fine them up to 10,000, sue them up to $10,000. So there's only in the town of Odessa. Yeah, it's in the town of Odessa. Their city officials have passed that law. So pretty weird and annoying. But I want to go through some of the ones that have already been filed that we know of. Now we have a whole legislative session in January and it just goes. So it's going to be more. But I want to talk about the ones that we know now. All right. Yay. And and I am getting my information from Equality Texas. I am on their newsletter list and I am in community with many of their leaders. I am on the excuse me, I am on the I am a commissioner here in Harris County in Houston, Texas. I am an LGBT commissioner. I am on the board. Our our commission chair is the executive director, um, interim executive director of Equality Texas, and I am in friends and in community with them. So I'm really connected to um, this legislation and updates and what's going on the hill. So that's why I feel like I can talk about it. Also, I am in community with TENT, which is the Transgender Education Network of Texas. They are led by Emmett Schilling. We are also good friends and cool. So, yeah, this is what I do. This is my bag. So I wanted to talk about it so y'all can know what's going on here because it can maybe give you some information on what may go on or where they may be trying in your area. Now, if you're in like a super blue area like a San Francisco or a New York, this may not necessarily affect you. But if you are in a rural area, if you are in the South, if you are in places like that, anywhere that that they were a red state in during this election, you might need to pay attention to the legislative session because in your state, because they are what works here, they test it out here, and if it works, they will try it in other places just to see if they can get it off. So it's something that you can be diligent about working against and talking to your senators and your lawmakers and you know all that kind of stuff. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. But before we get started, how are y'all doing? I see a couple of people in here. Hey Java, hey CL, hey California, hey Turner, hey Jay. Andres. Is that how you say it, Andres? Marissa, how are y'all doing? Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. As you come in, make sure you thumbs up. We love a thumbs up. Do, 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 do. Yeah, Saturday night. I know I'm usually, I usually Saturday nights usually to watch, catch up on my shows, but I'm caught up on all my shows. I watched Piano Lesson last night, and yeah, I'm pretty caught up on my shows. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this, and we can discuss them. Hey, Ashton, pretty fly dress. How are you? Girl, Penguin is the shit. It is. It's really good. I loved it. Especially, did you get to episode 4? Episode 4? Ah, that's my shit. Episode 4 was my shit. Absolutely. I'm feeling this gray right now. Oh, this is one of my favorite colors. I love soft gray. I love soft gray with bright colors. Like I love soft gray with like neon green, like mixing it with neon green or pink. That's a classic combo, pink and soft gray, but soft gray and like neon green and just like really bright colors, like hot pink and this soft gray. Ugh, I love those combinations. This is one of my favorite colors. Then, of course, baby blue. Love it, love it, love it. Hello, I've been watching Pantheon. It's dope. I haven't been watching that. I never heard of that. You have to roll your tongue to say my name. Andreas. It's hard for me to roll my tongue. I don't know. Andreas. Andreas Chavez. Andreas. 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 I can't roll my tongue. I can do it like not while I'm saying words. Like I can do it like, but I can't do it while I'm saying words. Andreas. It sounds retarded. Andreas. You watch Grotesserie with Niecy Nash. I did watch the first 2 episodes, and then I just ain't been back to it. It was kind of going slow, but I'm probably gonna catch up when I get like I'm gonna catch up. But I stopped watching it, and I just haven't been drawn to go back to it because the first 2 episodes were it didn't pull me in. But yes, I watched the first 2 episodes. We're gonna start talking about. I didn't like Rotisserie. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to say I didn't like it because I didn't give it a chance. Other than I did give it a chance to get 2, but it's not that I didn't like it, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It didn't pull me in. Like, oh, I gotta watch episode to get it. I usually give it like 2 or 3. If you ain't got me by 2 or 3. uh, I don't know. Yeah, because he was killing people in the first 5 minutes. He shot old boy in the first 5 minutes. Everything can't go like that. I lost interest when Travis Kelsey popped up. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just couldn't. I didn't get into it. We're gonna start in like a minute. Mm. Your hat is fire. Is it Stetson? No, this is a company called Lack of Color. Lack of Color. Here you go, Cheryl. Here's the link to them. They're really dope. This is the Rancher, and I have this in blue, orange, brown, baby blue, and yellow. This is my favorite style that they have. I have, yeah, blue, orange, brown, baby blue, and yellow. And I had it in black, but I lost it in fucking Vancouver. I left it at the damn airport because they took forever with my fucking um with my suitcase to get it through. You know how I gotta go through customs to get around the conveyor belt when you're coming through international. And I have like, I don't know if y'all probably can tell if y'all been watching me for a long time. I have extreme ADHD. Like my brain will go somewhere else quick. And so I have to be really, really cautious when I'm sitting in a spot for a very, very long time, especially like when I'm traveling, because my brain will go somewhere. Like one of the reasons why I don't drive, like literal driving, I will wreck my car. I will hit somebody because my brain will literally go somewhere else. Like literally go somewhere else. And so I'm literally a hazard to be on the road. And so if something is interrupting my flow that I'm used to, so like for example, going to the airport, when I went to the airport and they're making me sit there and wait for my fucking my luggage for a long time, I set my damn hat down, and so now I'm thinking and I'm overthinking about stuff, da, 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 and I'm not thinking about my hat because I done set it down. And so I'm thinking about this and thinking about God is somebody, just wherever my mind is going, it's going. It's not thinking about that hat. So as soon as my suitcase come up, I go to the suitcase. I go to the suitcase on the conveyor belt, and then I'm figuring out mm, um, how to get from the airport in a new city that I'm not in. So I grabbed my suitcase, I grabbed my purse, and that was on top of each other. And I'm like, okay, I got everything? I got everything. Da, 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 da. But I didn't have my hat. I have my purse, I have my suitcase, I have everything, but I didn't have my hat. It was sitting on the deck on the fucking bench. And so by the time I realized that I left my hat, I was already at the airport. I was already at my hotel. So lost my black version of this. But I have a new one. I have a new black hat and I actually like it better. So I got my vodka. I'm ready for the tea. I'm doing my nails too. Yay. What was the name of the movie that you mentioned about the guy unaliving addicts? Oh, it is called Unseen, the Anthony Sowell story, a documentary. It's called Unseen. I'm already tipsy. Work. um, if you could go back to school and graduate with a totally different degree, what would you major in? Probably history. Probably, yeah, probably history. Um, or education. I think I'm actually looking into it now. I think I'm gonna try to be an adjunct professor at a university here in Houston. I think I'm gonna try to be go into either African American studies, gender studies, women's studies, something like that, and be an adjunct professor at either University of Houston because I got some connections there, or Houston Community College (ACC) here, or Texas Southern, which is HBCU here in Houston. So I'm thinking about going back to be a not going back to school, but going and applying to be an adjunct professor because I really enjoy teaching. Like I've been lecturing for a couple of years now, since like 2019, and like just coming in where people bring me in to do lectures, other professors, and I really enjoy making curriculums. I really enjoy teaching. I really enjoy the engagement with the students. Like I really enjoy it. So I'm thinking about going into that. So maybe education. But history education, yeah, probably. And you don't have to be like a you don't have to have like a master's or a PhD to be a to be a adjunct professor. You have to have all of that to be a professor, though. And I might go back to school and get my doctorate, maybe. But I don't want no more fucking loans. If I find somebody to pay for it, yeah. Have you ever considered making a TED Talk video? I haven't pursued it, but I have thought about it. Hopefully, we will be allowed under Trump to have African American studies. Some schools will. The government don't have nothing to do with the schools. Well, um, a little bit, but not totally. They can't totally stop them from teaching it. Yeah, but there's a way around that. There's a way around having programming that you want to have at your school, even if there's some restrictions federally. There's a way. It's kind of similar to like nonprofit. There's a way. You nonprofits are not supposed to be political, but they can do political programming still without it being officially political. Does it make sense? Like they can support other programs. Does it make sense? But then shit, they're trying to do that nonprofit shit too. So yeah, you're right. Sometimes you don't know what this new Trump shit is going on. I filled out my FAFSA for 2025, 26. I was too nervous to wait. Oh, good. I think the deadline is like April, so it's still good. You're ahead of the curve. It's always good to be ahead of the curve. I think that's dope. Hey, bougie. All right. So as y'all come in, make sure y'all thumbs up. Let's jump into the conversation. Let's jump into the conversation. So let's read from the amazing Miriam Lecky. And we're gonna start with some of what she's saying. All right. So this is the government affairs director at Equality Texas, and we're gonna read her message to us in the newsletter just to give us kind of the context of what we are going to be talking about. And I want to hear some of y'all opinions on some of the bills. And I'll tell y'all my opinion about stuff. Um, as of the 89th legislative session, as it gets closer, we might be feeling a little scared and unsure of what's to come. While I can't predict the future, I can tell you that Equality Texas has been doing this work for a long time, which is really, really good, which is really a fact because they always track what's going on in the bills, always give resources for us to get up to Austin and be in the courthouse and be in the at the Capitol doing our thing. They always do their work. Um, and we know a thing or two about the Texas legislature. We're here and we're queer and we're ready to fight. Yes. But we cannot do it alone. So yeah, so we want to make sure that we are informed and we need that strength and resilience and power of our community behind us. All right. So this week we got a taste of what kind of legislation we are to expect next year when it's time for the bills to go through, because some of them had already been filed. From the 100 of bills that have been pre-filed, our team have identified 50 bills targeting the LGBTQIA plus community. We anticipate more in the future, but some of the key ones are already filed. So they already starting their shit. All right, all right, all right, all right. So you know that you can go to your state's legislature and check out what's been filed in your state because yours is going to be specific to your area. And like I said, if you have a more bluer state, you might not have to worry about things, but there's something that's going to be affecting you because we are in an uptick of conservatism. So make sure that you're paying attention to how they are maneuvering. Because while it may not be as bad as here in Texas, it might be a little bit of something that affects your money, that affects your taxes, that affects something. So make sure you check it out. All right, so let's talk about bathroom bills. So we have been hearing about bathroom bills since what? Since really a very, very long, not a very, very, very long time, but definitely since Ogerfeld, since gay marriage passed in 2015, because I have said this multiple times on my channel. Once gay marriage passed, they needed, and when I say they, I'm not talking about conservatives, I'm talking about cisgender people. They needed a litmus test politically of of where you stand as a politician and as a progressive, as a conservative. They needed a new LGBT litmus test, because if you remember, prior to gay marriage passing in 2015, the litmus test was, what was your stance on gay marriage? Right? So think about what they would ask politicians when it was time to see where they stand with queer people. It was always about gay marriage. What is your stance on gay marriage? What did you vote on gay marriage? And once that passed, they needed something else. And the new frontier is the little t of the LGBT. The trans has always been the little t. They were always willing to throw us under the bus when it comes to the gender bill, the gender bill, the non-discrimination ordinance. Gay people, cisgender gay people, were always willing to throw us under the bus when it comes to or play with the idea. Not all of them, but many of them will throw us right under the bus just to get what they need. And that's basically what happened. Once gay marriage passed, a lot of the people who were in the fight for gay marriage went and sat their ass down, and because they're not worried about the transgender issue. Okay. So, yeah, that's just the truth of the matter. But I I don't want to say I love it because I don't love it. I want us all to be free and liberated. But what I love about what's happening is now that they done turn over Dobbs, now that they done turned over Roe versus Wade, now that they done that, if they can do that to the cis girls and roll back their rights that was all the way back in the 70s, all of us, all the people that was throwing us under the bus and not worrying about and being in community, all of us at risk. Because if they can roll that back, they can roll back Lawrence versus Texas. Y'all know what Lawrence versus Texas is? That's what made it not illegal for you to be having sex with boys and you a boy. Because, honey, what you do in your private life is your business, and the government shouldn't be in your bedroom. That's what Lawrence versus Texas was about, because this white man and this black boy was having sex in the privacy of their own home, and they were arrested and charged with sodomy and blah 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 blah, and they built a lawsuit around it, and they won because privacy. That's what all of these are based on, privacy. Okay, and so if they can overturn Roe versus Wade, they can overturn that. And now it's at risk. And of course, they can overturn gay marriage. Got it? Are y'all following me? Like, because all of these laws are based on privacy, the penumbra of privacy, and I think that's how you pronounce it. I may not be pronouncing it right because I'm not a lawyer, but it's about privacy. Okay. And so because the root and the foundation of what they're protecting is the privacy of you as a citizen. When they undo that, all of these things come into question. Griswold, that's contraception, anything that deals with your private life, they can undo all of these laws, like your sexuality, your marriage, your contraception, your reproductive, all of the stuff. It's all up for grabs. And so while you're ignoring the trans issue, which is about agency over our bodies, agency being able to identify and do what we want with our bodies and it be respected, it's only a matter of a time before they come after you. And as we can see, they're they're gearing up with this with these election results to come attack y'all. So while you were so quickly to throw us under a bus and ignore our issue, while you were quiet and enjoying your marriages, enjoying your things, they have come now for you. They was like, oh, we got our base riled up because of this trans stuff. That's why they have it in all the ads, because it can get them, because they know the transphobia is going to get them riled up. But it also is going to be able to, for them to wear the other people out too. And while I don't like that, part of there's a side of me that's just like, ha 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 ha, I told you, motherfuckers. I told you. So we started to see this uptick in bathroom bills because now the trans issue is coming out of the dark and into the forefront and into the spotlight. That's why you see after gay marriage passed in 15, that's why you see in the election of 2016 with Trump the first time and Hillary, before we get to Trump, in the Democratic National Convention, it's the first time that we hear somebody mention transgender and not just LGBT, like actual trans specific issues. Because now it's a new frontier. Excuse me. Now it's a new frontier. So let's read what the bill is about. All right, so Bill HB House Bill 239, brought to you by Swanson. I can't remember her first name, but Swanson is a bitch who is old, shady, and she has voted against trans stuff all the time. Like, she is shady and Republican. Ugh, annoying. She's actually on the north side of Houston. She's in there. She runs their district with Spring, that stuff. So if you're familiar with Houston, it's like the Spring area. So she's one of the legislators from there. So the bathroom bill 2.0. We have beat this many times, but every time we beat it, they try to bring it every year and change it. We thought this was silly. We thought the silliness was over. Sorry. The silliness was over after Texas shut down the bathroom ban in 2017. But Texas lawmakers are not known for their creativity. So they're trying to old move a second time. This bill would restrict access to bathrooms in facilities owned or operated by state government. This would mean that trans Texans who work for the state would have to walk down the block to Starbucks to go pee. So this is another bill that is about the bathroom, that is making it, if it is a state-led owned building facility, then you can't go to the bathroom there. What y'all think about that? I mean, this is classic. Hey Brandon. Hey Ty. Let me see. Elizabeth says some conservatives aim to dismantle the entire 14th Amendment. It underpins all the things that find problematic: birthright, citizenship, gay marriage, civil rights, abortion. Absolutely. You are totally right, Elizabeth. Totally right. Yep. Even slavery, babe. Yeah, all of these laws are connected. They were one on the same precedent. Oh no, yep, it is scary. Trickle down, trickle down. Anybody, anything, body autonomy. People don't see that they are chipping away at our rights little by little, inch by inch, until they can get to the big fish. And so when we think about all of these, one of the issues that people call out is that on the right, conservative, that white Christian, patriarchal, that identity, white Christian patriarchal, while they call us the identity politics, it's all about identity. They identity politics too. Yay, balloons. Their identity politics too. It's just the bland white Christian patriarchal group. Whoever are invested in that, and they can be women. They have one idea to follow. Whereas over us, we got many things over here. We got the trans ideology, we got the queer ideology, we got racial ideology. We got so many things that they have to maneuver with. Women ideology, all these things, and those nuances within that. That we got, we gonna go over here, we're gonna call you out about your racism, we're gonna call you out about your sexism, we're gonna call you out about your homophobia, we're gonna call you out about your transphobia, we're gonna call you out about your classism, we're gonna call you about your disability, because we want to hold you accountable for these things, and we have an analysis that is intersectional. And so that is difficult to navigate if we let it be difficult. It's not actually difficult, but if we let it be difficult, because if you center the least among us, it can actually fix the problem of the whole. So we our black feminist icons have already laid that out for shit 70 years now. So the resistance is not doing the work to center the least among us. Got it? Um, there's a push for a federal bathroom bill too, which I would love for Biden and Harris to do before they get up out of here. There's many things that they can do. Not every single thing, but it's many things that they can do right now. So still mind-boggling to me that out of all the issues this country has anything to do with trans is always at the forefront. It's almost like a cultural red herring or a straw man or um sometimes I confuse the difference between red herring and straw man fallacy. Um but it's almost like it's distracting you from the real problem. Whatever one of them is talking about distracting you from the real problem. Um, and for me, um, and there's some overlap, yeah, scapegoat too. Or the appeal to extremes. Like there's different because if you think about how many trans people is in this country, we are such a small group of people that you making us a big issue is wild. Um, um, But yes. Yes, 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 yes. It's like a big distraction. But people are responding to it on the right because they need somebody to bully. Mm, eating my lemon pepper wings. So so yes, trans people in the room. Let me ask y'all this question. How many times have you had your transness be an issue in the bathroom? Can y'all give me some stories or some anecdotal experiences that you have had issues about your identity in the bathroom? Have y'all had that before? I have, but it's only been one time in my life. I have had it, but it just once. It will be a monumental rug pull that will pull threads and unravel an entire century of progress. They're so worried about trans people in the bathroom when they're probably never seen a transgender person in their lives. That is so crazy how the rhetoric worked on white women across America, but not them losing autonomy over their bodies. Marissa, it seems like that would be logical, right? We are here. That seem like you getting hype about trans people, but you're not hype about them. These men who don't even have periods, who don't. Y'all love to talk about how trans people can't have baby and don't have periods, but these men who don't have baby and don't have periods are really ruling over your body, and they ain't getting you hype. These old white men who want you to sit down and shut up and be pregnant and be forced to have their babies. Crazy. Um, CL says, never once have I had this issue. Ashton says, I have not, but also my job has 2 single bathrooms. I have never knowingly seen a transgender person in the bathroom. If they were there, they never bother me. A few times people saying a man was in the bathroom, mostly dirty looks and disgusting sounds. Not a regular public bathroom, but a gay business a couple of times, like on Pose. Explain that a little bit more, Magic. Explain that a little bit more. Tell me what happened. That part. When I worked at the movie theater, was a one ex-gay manager who had problems with me cleaning the women's bathroom, and this was a gay manager. And that's so annoying to me. I hate when queer people uphold transphobia, because you should know better. Just like on Pose, they should have fucking knew better. Probably me cleaning the women's bathroom when they needed to be cleaned. Sit down and shut up and be pregnant. Ain't that crazy? Never, nor have I ever come across someone in the bathroom that I thought just looked like a man in a wig. So I remember in college, this is my junior year. I had been going to school already for 3 years by then, Jackson State. And I had never had no issues in the bathroom, ever. Me and my homegirls had some homework to do. And we were in the computer lab. If you're watching, make sure you thumbs up. And we were in the computer lab. And I need you to go to the bathroom. Now, mind you, I'm in my 3rd year. Been living on this campus. They done put me in the boys' dorm. From my freshman year, I done got in fights. I done just been at this school for so long that this was so unexpected. I thought that if there was going to be some kind of bathroom issue, it would have happened my freshman year. But it didn't. Nobody said anything about the bathroom. So this random day, I go to the bathroom. There's a woman in there, older black woman, middle-aged black woman. Middle-aged black woman. She probably in her 30s. And mind you, I'm like 19, 20. I'm like 20. And she's washing her hands when I come through the door. We don't say anything to each other. We just walk past each other. Because she's out of the stall. I'm coming in, going into the stall. She comes out. I use the bathroom, wash my hands, and I come out. When I come out the stall, I see her in the office across the hall from the bathroom. But I don't think anything because I have been going to this bathroom this is my favorite computer lab. So I have been coming to this bathroom the whole time I've been in college, in the 3 years I've been in college. So I didn't think nothing of this. All of a sudden, I go back to the computer lab with my homegirls. All of a sudden, the police come into the into the computer lab, and they look into the room and they point to me and say, "Hey, come here." And we all looking like, "What's happening?" So I get up and go out, and so my friends get up with me because they like, we didn't know what's going on. So he asked me, did I use the bathroom? And I say, yeah. Okay. And so he takes me up to the bathroom, to the office where the woman was. And basically they say that we just had a complaint that a man was using the girl's bathroom. And my friends who I was with start my cisgender friends start going off. Like, who the fuck said that? I didn't even say nothing. I'm like, well, it's kind of embarrassing because I'm the only trans person in this group. But the shame about that is really dull because I've been trans for so long. So being in these kind of weird situations, it's kind of the feeling of it is kind of dull at this point at 20 because I transitioned at 13. So having these weird ass trans moments where you're the trans person is kind of dull, but it was kind of like, oh Lord, here go this shit. And so my friends start roasting the lady, saying stuff like, girl, she ain't even looking at you. Your old ass regular men don't even fucking look at you. So why you think she want to look at you? Don't nobody want to look. Regular straight men don't even want to look at you. And they're just roasting her, which I live for. I was like, oh yes, my girls. And they were just reading her. And so it started to escalate to where the woman was like, I think she should use the male bathroom. I don't feel safe. And in my brain, I'm like really? Like you think that why do you feel unsafe? I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt because I come to find out later on in a years, decades later, like maybe like 20 years later. Um no, like 10 years later, I come to have a conversation with somebody that I respect that kind of explained it a little bit to me. And I'll explain it later on when I finish the story. But I'm telling her that I am I'm like, I'm attracted to men and I'm not even sexually active. So what what makes you think that I am would be into you? Like in what makes you think I'm a danger to you? Cause I did not get it. Where I'm like, I'm a student, you a fucking worker here. You think I would try to do something to you in a public bathroom in the middle of the day? The only trans woman in the school, easily recognizable, like who cameras everywhere. Like what? Like it doesn't make sense to me. I just something. And so the officer says, "Oh, just well, I don't really know what to do in this situation because they hadn't had a trans person on the campus. So this is them navigating these rules is quite new to them. So they don't know what to do. And being that the police officers has been quote unquote an ally to me for a very long time. Like for my freshman year, they were very adamant, sometimes awkwardly, um, in letting people know, like, y'all bet not bother this person. We're zero tolerance when it comes to bothering this person. But then this scenario kind of made them have pause, like, ooh, we don't know how to navigate this because we've never navigated it. So they end up just kind of talking to us, not necessarily telling me not to go to the bathroom, but not necessarily telling me to go to the bathroom. It just this whole little thing. But anyway, so I still go to the bathroom again just to do it on purpose. And she calls the police again. This is like an hour later. And so they come back up and it's this whole thing where they got to make a decision on. And so what they end up doing is telling her to stop calling. Stop calling about this bathroom thing because I can go. There's no rules about the bathroom. I can go to the bathroom. There's nothing definitively saying that I can't go to this bathroom. And my ID matches the bathroom. You see what I'm saying? So my documents match the girl's bathroom, so bitch gone. So they couldn't really but she kept on trying to make it a thing. So it was the first time that I had experienced this kind of bathroom thing because in high school I never had any issues with people complaining about bathroom in high school. They never wore me out about bathroom at all. But we had a bunch of queer men at our we didn't have a bunch of trans people, but we had a bunch of queer men and gay boys being in the girl bathroom was so common that nobody was complaining about that shit. Nobody was complaining about it. So the studs was going in the boys' bathroom, the gays was going to the girls' bathroom. It wasn't a thing where it was something people complained about. So, yeah, let me read what y'all says. Um, being a friend of drag queens, they thought they would take a moment to check my moment to check me. Identification on ID. You should know better, queen. Da, 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 da. That's crazy. It's been established where I've seen cisgender men cleaning both bathrooms. Facts. They just doing that for trans. Colorado luckily got a bill passed in 2008 that got public accommodations covered. We can use bathrooms with no problem. Now, using the gym and locker rooms may be dicey if you're in between transition. While respecting your pronouns is crazy. In the past year, my problem has been related nothing to gender. Gas station retail stores are hostile to have public bathrooms because fentanyl and homeless epidemic made hard as a Uber driver. What is hard about what's the issue with Uber driving? What's been going on in that situation? So true. I used to be in the girls' bathroom when I was a butch queen in high school. It was no issue. Um, I know a lot of trans people that drive Uber. I just haven't heard any kind of issues. All right, so that's the bathroom bill, classic bathroom bill. So let's go to the don't say gay bill, HB 344, presented by Carl Tipper. Carl is an ugly bald head Caucasian man. Um, Education has been front of mind for the state far right. And now that the State Board of Education is ready to institute statewide Sunday school, I want y'all to understand that statewide Sunday school, they may also completely erase the history of the queer community in Texas. Learning about queer issues in the classroom can help queer students accept themselves and prepare their peers for a workforce as diverse and beautiful as the people in Texas. So this bill is about not wanting to mention gay people or gay things, gay subjects, gay history in schools at all. What is y'all opinion about this? Because this got a lot of queer people. It's hard when there's no public restroom to use. Whenever places lock up their bathrooms. Oh, okay. because they're locking them up so they don't go in there and do drugs. Gotcha. Um, what do y'all think about this? Because I hear a lot of ignorant queer people on the side of conservative with this. Like, nobody in school is teaching gay, um, is having pornography in the school. But the problem is that right-wing conservatives think that just talking about gayness, just talking about having a different sexual orientation other than straight is lewd and disrespectful and too much for kids. Where do y'all stand on that? Because if you're just talking about history, like we're not talking about sex, sexuality, even though I think it does a disservice to queer students who are learning about sex education. If you do even have a sex education program, I think it does a disservice to queer students who are literally having sex already, many of them, to not talk about homosexual sex and the risk and what's going on sexually in a sex education environment. But they don't even want to talk about straight sex in school. So when it comes to sex education. So anyway, so that's a whole other subject. But even when it comes to history, like just the history of queer people, there are so many queer people, gay people that are intertwined, foundational people to the history of this nation. And so not mentioning them is a direct assault and undermining the truth about our nation. There's no nuance. It's like, why can't we have gay couples on TV that hold hands and innocently kiss? Just show general affection to them. They might as well be porn. Yes, I agree. I'm sure there are more portrayals now, but even now, it's not respected as heteronormativity. Um, there shouldn't be a direct correlation between gay, queer, and anything sexual in an inappropriate way. I don't think I think that that is inevitable because the difference is a sexual difference. When you not necessarily queer, but when you say gay, when you say a person is gay, the difference between them and a non-gay person is a sexual difference. Like they are sexually attracted to the same sex. So it's hard to kind of not mention n- not to not mention the sex part, but it's hard to like separate that from because that is the literal difference. Does it make sense? Now, if you're talking about something else, like if you're talking about history, you can talk about this person's queerness because it gives context to their, like if we're talking about the March on Washington, which you cannot do, which they have been doing for a very, very long time, which you shouldn't be able to do without talking about Bayard Rustin. His queerness was such a part of his life that you need to talk about it. Is it's one of the reasons why he was getting arrested. It's one of the contexts of how they were using him to manipulate Martin Luther King. The FBI was using COINTELPRO was using their relationship, the threat of their relationship, not their sexual relationship, but the threat of exposing a false sexual relationship. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it gives you context of why he wasn't able to speak at a march that he organized. Yeah, I agree. It's like that gives you context. If we're talking about um the history of the ERA, Equal Rights Act, equality, what is it called? The ERA, the Women's Rights Act, the one that Phyllis Schlafly was really against and da 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 da. You got to talk about the nuance of how they were treating gay people, gay women during that time, how white feminists were treating gay lesbians, how middle America, middle class white women, white feminists were denouncing lesbians because they were homophobes. Even though they wanted women's rights, they didn't they didn't want queer rights. Just like, okay, crazy. Crazy hypocritical. But yeah, very, very annoying. HB 344. Don't say gay. So not mention. And then they're really trying to put Bibles in schools. They're really trying to Christianize schools. And it's like, what about the people who are not damn Christians? That's what's annoying me. It's like, what about people who are not Christians? Like, we don't fuck with that. So why we got to learn about the Bible? We're here to learn about education. So very wild, very crazy, not demure. um, all right, so let's go to the third one. HB 938, presented by Toth, the child drag suit. Drag ban. So the last drag ban got shut down by the courts because of the First Amendment. So lawmakers are at it again. If they can't make it illegal, they can make it more expensive by increasing liability for venues that host drag performances and the performers themselves. This bill would allow any child to sue a drag performer or venue, even if their parents brought them to the show. So, since they couldn't criminalize, I want y'all to clock this. So, since they couldn't because they can do this in other places, since they couldn't criminalize drag shows, like the drag queens coming and reading to the kids, their parents bringing them to Pride at a drag show, because parents do bring children to Pride. Um, um, what they're putting, it is similar to, if y'all remember, a couple of years ago, they passed a law to where citizens can sue people for helping and giving abortions. Like citizens can. Like if you know somebody got an abortion, like you can bring up a lawsuit against those people, citizens. So it makes it witchy, because if I need that $10,000, let me snitch on you. Do you see what I'm saying? Also, what this does is put a child in a position to where a Republican a conservative can kind of come in and convince that child to sue if that child get taken to a Pride event, just for the sake of it. So they're putting it in the citizens' hands to be the people who are harassing drag queens. Got it? Does that make sense? How tricky that is? If it was us putting trans in school instead of the Bible, they would be considered shoving down their throats. Facts. Exactly. I was happy when there was no prayer in school. A lot of us weren't Christian. Nice little witch hunt they have created. Absolutely. It's a witch hunt. It really is. So yes, since the drag bill Didn't work the last time. This is them trying to bring in another way, sneaky way to throw it up against the wall and see if it sticks. Um, and last but not least, remember it's like 50, but these are like the main ones that are kind of weird. Gender regulation, SB Senate Bill 84, presented by Hall. The dignity of having an ID that reflects your identity is something that most of us take for granted. But trans people think that that is really important to them. I want my ID to match my gender identity. This bill would restrict any updates to government documents requested by trans people. So clock that. So anything, any change, your birth certificate, your ID, all of your documents, you cannot request for them to be updated or changed. So if you have an M on your birth certificate or you have an M on your state ID, you cannot get it changed to an F. So what that leads to is so let me ask trans people in the room another question. Have you had a situation, your anecdotal experience, have you had a situation where your gender marker on your documents caused you a problem? I have. Not in a very long time because my stuff has been changed. But years ago, when I hadn't had it changed, I had an issue going into a club. I remember me and my homegirls when I was in college, right before I changed my gender marker. Um, I hadn't changed my name yet because my name was unisex. It was not masculine or feminine. It was unisex, my birth name. And so especially in the South. It was so my name didn't need to change. It was my gender marker that changed. So at the time, it was easy for me to change my gender marker, but I ended up changing everything when I came to Texas, all this kind of stuff. But I had my gender marker change on my ID at the time, not my name. And so went to this club and I mean, I have my name, my gender marker didn't need to be changed. So at this time, it didn't change. It had an M. So, but because my name is unisex and I was passable, most of the time, motherfuckers is not paying attention to what your gender marker says. That's just the truth. So I went to the club. It was ladies get in free. Now, I've been known to hang with bad bitches, bad cisgender bitches, because I'm a bad bitch. And so most of the time, if I'm hanging with a girl, she's sickening. She either fly, because even, I just like fly ass bitches. Because I'm a fly ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hanging out with the it girls because I feel like I'm an it girl. So let's go. Emphasis on it. Nah, I'm playing. um, so yes, we go to the club and we like, oh well, we college kids, we don't want to pay because we all broke. So we want to go to this club, and this was a Q dog party. So if you have been to a black school, you know the Q dogs be fine. Ooh, they be fine. And they're freaky and nasty and everything. So you did Q dog parties be lit. Not saying that the other people party don't be lit, but Q dog party be lit. Cause it's like a little edgy, it's a little sexual and spicy. You know what you're about to get into when you go to a cute party. So we get in, we there a little bit early because you got to be there. If you want to be in free, you got to be there before 10 o'clock. And so we get in there and we sit down. And it's probably like six of us at the club. Six of the girls. We come in, they let us in, we free, we sit down. Now, mind you, this is a party, so they want it to be girls there. Remember that. They want it to be girls there because if it ain't no girls in the party, the dude's gonna be like, oh, we at the wrong spot. We want to be where the chicks is going. So they have us in there early so you can have that, so they can see that the chicks is here, and then that's how they make their money. It's kind of like Studio 54 used to be, where you see the fabulous people getting in and getting that, and when we need to make money, we let more people in, and if not, we leave people out. That's just what it was. So this is one of them nights where they wanted it to be fat. So we sit down, we don't order drinks yet, but we sitting down, and all of a sudden, um, somebody says, hey, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here," and it's me and my homegirl. They're kind of waving at me and my homegirl. They're waving at me, but how the angle is, it looks like they're waving they could be waving at either of us. So we both walk over there, and so the dude asked me, "Let me see your ID." And I say, "Yeah." And I pull out my ID and I give it to him. And so it's three dudes over there passing my ID around. And so between each other, they work for the place. And so he hands me my ID back. He was like, "Nah, you gotta pay, bro." I say, "Oh, for what?" And they was like, "Oh, because your ID say M. They telling me you a dude. So you gotta pay." My homegirl says, "Oh, she's not gonna pay. No, she's not about to pay. We all can leave this motherfucker. We all can leave. Like, no, we about to leave. Y'all being petty about that. Are you fucking serious? Da 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 da." So she's going off, and she go over to the table and tell the homegirls basically another moment of, oh my God, they're kind of. It's not that it's embarrassing. It's just that we all got dressed to come to the Q Dog party. I don't want to be the reason that everybody leaves the Q Dog party. No, I don't want everybody to leave. But my homegirl is like insistent of, no, if she has to go or she has to pay, we leaving, which I live for. I live for the allyship of it, but I still don't want my friends I still don't want my friends to miss out on the fun of a Q Dog party because of me. Because then it's gonna be, we don't want to bring the trans girl out nowhere because bitch, she might get us kicked out of the place. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it puts me in a situation where I'll never be invited to anything because my transness is gonna be a problem. And so I was like, no, 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 no. Y'all just stay here. I'll go back to the car, and I'll just go and find somebody to pay my way. Like, give me some, because I'm pretty passable, so I can get some coins out of a nigga quick. Hey, give me some money. I can't pay to get in here, or what? I can't remember. Whatever. I can get some money out of a nigga quick, and so I'll just pay. But she was adamant, and the girls that we were with fell in line. Was like, fuck no, we're getting up out of here. We go somewhere else. And this group of six girls now, we the bad bitches in the room. Understand that. We the bad bitches in the room. So when we get up, the dude who threw the party, he's not running the door. He's throwing the party. So he was at the DJ booth and he see us get up and about to go out the door. So he was like, "Yo, Andrea, what's up?" Because Andrea is the main bad bitch. And he was like, "Andrea, what's up? Where y'all about to go?" And she was like, "These motherfuckers not letting my friend come in here because she's trans and blah 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 blah. Fuck that. That's not fair. And blah blah blah. She a girl. Y'all trying to disrespect her like that. So we about to get up out of here." He was like, "No, no, 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 no. What the fuck is y'all doing? Y'all don't put nobody out of my shit. We said all ladies free. She looked like a lady, so she could come on in. Ain't nobody tripping about that shit. Come on, y'all. Da, 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 da. This is my party. I tell who can come and who can't go." And because they were about to leave, he was like, "Fuck no, y'all tripping. Y'all messing up my whole little vibe." And so he tell us, go back to our little table. He give us a bottle. He make sure that we are taken care of. And the niggas was mad, not mad, but they were, because he's the party. He's the one who threw all of this shit. And so They were like, "Oh, we thought it was be a problem." He was like, "I didn't tell y'all that that was a problem. So why y'all making this a motherfucking issue? Why y'all even making this an issue?" That's what basically he was saying. So we went back and sat down, and he gave us a bottle, and we was able to sit there and enjoy the party. But it still was fucking awkward because now I'm in the party and my tea done been spilled everywhere, and it was so late and tired. But because my gender marker was not changed on my ID, it was a big old issue. And so, yeah, that's what it was. And so let me read some of y'all. I went to the club probably my first year or two of my transition. Nothing had changed on my ID. I got in without an issue, but security went around telling my tea all around the club. Shady. Which can put you in danger. It can get you ridiculed. It can get you teased, all that kind of stuff. Trey, that I already knew, came up and told me that the security came up to his crew and told all of them, "Nah, that tall red girl is a dude. I seen her ID." Shady. I only ever went to a few heterosexual clubs before I got my gender marker changed on my ID. Mostly, I went to LGBT places or drag shows. There are one club in Denver that was for the bar, for the bears and leather dudes, and I never went to there because they threw trans women out like on poles. Um, there was a time I didn't want to go in this place. Let me make that very clear. I didn't want to go in this place. My friend who I was riding with was trying to meet somebody in a bathhouse. And but he didn't want to leave me in the car. So he was like, just come in here. I don't want to be in here by myself. So you come in here with me and I'll meet the person and it'll be quick. And then we come back out and da 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 da. But when we went into the bathhouse, they wouldn't let me in because I was a trans woman. I didn't want, and I was like, I don't want to be here no way. I was only coming for my friend. I don't want to be in this motherfucker. Because especially during this time of my life, I was very, let's just say, problematic. I'm like, I want to go in here with all these agates. These fucking honey running around here passing syphilis and who knows what to each other in this madhouse. I don't want. I'm a classy woman. How dare you think I want to come in this place? It was that kind of vibe. But that was I was young, and I had problematic views. These white agates, honey. I don't want to be in here with these white, oversized, wrinkly, pink pig looking agate fogs, baby. Get out of here. It was crazy. But I was like, girl, mm-mm. Let me go get some more to drink and then we'll go to the next one. Yeah, that was the last one, but there's some positives one. I want to read the positive ones for y'all. But yeah, they were trying it. The place right next door to Club Q that got shot up in Colorado. Spring is a bathhouse for gay men. My white trans masculine tried to go in there and got discriminated against, but yeah, no girls. I think that's common in bathhouses. Ah. So yes, so that is the gist of it. So we have a bill about bathroom. We have a bill about not saying gay, basically not teaching any gay history or anything about gay stuff, any kind of education about gay stuff. Them trying to manipulate the citizens into suing drag queens and drag venues that have drag. This really, there really is never children at a drag club. I've never seen that before. Never seen a child at a drag club, but at events that has like family oriented events that have drag queen performers, I have seen that. Like if you go to somebody's house or you go to a pride event, you go to a wedding that has children there, that has a drag performer. Um, that child can now sue whoever the venue is or the drag queen. That's what they're trying to pass. And then gender regulations, where, hey, your gender ID has to reflect what's on your birth certificate. All right, so let's talk about the positive things. Because one of the things that I had a issue with many, many times is, all right, people are putting these bills forward, but who is putting the bills that are positive for us? Like why are we always defending and stopping bills and not creating bills for ourselves? That was a big issue for me. It felt like on the left, people were not doing what they were supposed to do to write bills to protect us. Like we keep, these Republicans is bringing out bill after bill after bill after bill after bill. Where is the left wing people putting out bills to protect us and enshrining it in our Constitution, like in New Mexico, like in New York, like in California? Why are we not doing things to put forth that? Because what we also know is that we are a part of the majority of Americans, like not us, not the identity part, but people who believe that we should be able to transition and respect it as our ID. We are a part of the majority. Like they've done many polls about that. Most people don't care. I don't know if y'all take um fiber pills, but fiber pills be making you thirsty, baby, because it you got to make sure you hydrated with them. Yes, thumbs up if you are watching. I see 30 people, 33 people are watching, and only 25 thumbs up. Why are you watching? And you not thumbsing up. Um, yes, yes, yes. Hey, Shonette, how are you? Man, Joe and Kamala ain't doing shit for the community. They actually are. You gotta go on their website. Let's not don't be um spreading misinformation. Yes, they actually have. Now, don't be on here spreading misinformation about what Republicans have done and what Democrats have done. They have done tons of things in regards to relieving student loans for Black people and queer people. They have done tons of things about job market and getting people their medication, that they're not being price gouged for their medication. There are so many things you gotta track what they have been doing. There's so many things. So don't say that they haven't done shit, because most of their policies have affected Black people disproportionately because we are negatively affected by certain things disproportionately. So if you have a poverty, if you, like, say for example, if you can't afford insulin, okay, more than likely a person who is not able to afford the insulin shot is somebody who is in poverty. Who is more likely to be in poverty because of racism? Black people. And so if you have something that is capping the cost, It is going to be more Black people who are affected by insulin, and we know how that works when it comes to those medications. It's going to be more Black people who are now able to afford a capped cost on insulin. So, what you cannot add to the propaganda machine. Now, I'm not saying that they couldn't do better. I'm not saying that they could do more. But to say that they don't do anything for Black people or the community, that's not true. They have done more than Republicans have. And this don't mean we can't push them to do more. But saying that they haven't done anything is a lie. But yes, we can push them to do more. We can push them to do more. I don't think Joe and Kamala have marketed their accomplishments well. And they could have learned something from Trump. Trump, I want you to think about them stimulus checks. Him putting his name on them stimulus checks, even though him and Congress, the Republicans in Congress were working against it, even though it was Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats in Congress, because the Congress controlled the purse, they were the ones who passed that stimulus check. And multiple people helped to get Democratic people helped to get them that stimulus check, but him putting his name on it got people thinking that Trump gave them a stimulus check. That was marketing, brilliant marketing. That was brilliant, because then now everybody talking about, ooh, Trump got us a stimmy, even though we've gotten stimuluses from Biden. And even the ones from in the Trump era was from the Democrats making it happen. The Democrats making it happen. But you're right. I think that they should market their accomplishments more. I read something, not I read, I was watching something. I can't remember. It wasn't something I read. I was watching I think it was Destiny. I can't remember. But male leftist content creators have shot up. Like white male and black male and male content creators who are on the left, like who are progressive. In the past couple of years, 2 years, they have shot up in creating content. But they're actually coming to the main stage extra late. So while the right wing manosphere, like Republicans and the Coons and the right wing men have been building platforms and podcasts and da 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 and all these problematic shit, the left wing guys have been kind of quiet. They've been like kind of just kind of let going with the flow or whatever. But in the past 2 years, they have been like really boosting up their content, creating pages, creating podcasts, creating content because, of course, because of the election, but it's in even more droves, and we needed them 4 years ago. But we need them now, so it's good that they're coming. But what they were the point that they were making is that we needed more men to combat the misogyny that's happening over there. We needed more leftist men because women shouldn't be just doing that work either against fighting the narrative that is happening on the right. Do you think they need to be more radical? Who? When you say they, define they. I'm gonna always say yes to radicalism. Always. Because I feel like we're moving centrist. The problem to me, that's a problem. People people love to say, "Oh, you got to reach across the aisle." They don't reach across the aisle. The leftist male media and podcasters. I think that they need to be telling the actual truth. I don't think telling the truth is radical. I think that's normal. I think they need to be combating the lies. So it's not necessarily radical, even though I want everybody to be radical. I want everybody to be more radical. I want everybody to be more left. I want everybody to be more, because most of the Democrats that we have nowadays are centrist. So most of politics has moved to the right. Even though where is where is my I'll be right back. So I be feeling like I got a booger in my nose, but then when I get in there, it don't feel like it's doing nothing. Like it's not pulling nothing out. So, and then my damn nostrils, and this is natural. I've never had a nose job, but my nostrils, if you notice, my nostrils are too small for my fingers. So my fingers can barely get in my nose. Sorry. But it feels, it's nothing coming out, but it feels like some boogers. But anyway, where was I at? Um, oh, so they're centrist. They are not. They're moderate and centrist. They are in the middle. They're not to the left, but they will espouse ideals of the left, like anything like social, anything like social shit that they're trying to save and bring, anything like healthcare being universal, um free, free school, like just school being free, free lunch. All of these are socialist ideals, like socialist programs. Like they're far left stuff. They're left stuff. And so they got the benefit of people thinking that they are progressive, but that's just shit. That's centrist shit. That's like that they're just doing the bare minimum. They're not going far. They're not going far left. They're just doing the fucking bare minimum. Like, why haven't y'all raised the minimum wage? Why haven't you get what I'm saying? They're just not doing fucking enough. They're doing some things, but it's not enough. I feel like they're doing the bare minimum. But I also think that's because too much money is in politics. I feel they don't get down on the Republicans level, and that's a problem for me. Explain that, because I have a theory. I call it the box of decorum. What do you I think it's aligned with what you're saying. Explain that. They don't get down on a Republican level. What does that mean? Give me an example of something that would be them getting down like Republicans. That would be acceptable. That would be like, "Oh, I want you to do that. That's dope." Lying? I don't want them to lie because then they're not credible. No, I've never had a nose job. I've gotten fillers in my cheeks, old school silicone back in the day, but I got that removed in 2013. Um, in 2022, I got some fillers like high in my cheeks, like right here. Um, of course, I got FFS in 2013, um, which is brow bone, jawline. That's what I got. Everybody FFS is different, but I've never got my nose touched and I never got my lips touched. So, or my eyes, like my actual like features, eyes, nose, and lips. That's all mine. It's really just the structure of my head, like my cranium, cheeks, and jawline that I've gotten done, but I haven't gotten a nose job or my lips done. My lips are my natural lips. And if I got my eyes done, I would want them to be snatched like this. But I'm scared to do. I want to look like my people. That's the. That's what I have been wanting. I don't want to not. I didn't want to not look like my mother. I have my mom's nose. If you look a video of me and my mom, we have the same nose. Hers is a little bit bigger than mine, but as far as the shape of it, it's the same shape. Um, yeah. So I never really wanted to not look. I didn't want to change my whole face to where I don't look like my people. That was kind of weird. Anyway, I wanted to hear what was some examples of them getting down like Republicans. What are some examples? I feel the same way. It feels like they're playing it safe. Don't even get me started on the ones that are trying to bridge the gap between Republican Dems. Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing about reaching across the aisle or bridging the gap. Fuck that. No. But when you say get down like Republicans, what does that mean? Because Republicans are lying about stuff. So I don't want them to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? They're lying about stuff. They're not believing in truths. They're making up false facts. Like when you say get down like Republicans, that's what I think. And I don't want them to do that. I want them to use the truth to be the truth. You know who I love? I want them to talk. I love John Stewart. Like I want them to talk. You know who is a good the Democrat speaker, like a good person who like talk that shit and know how to make his points well? Pete Buttigieg. I really like how he has the gift of gab. Pete got the gift of gab. I like him. Wake up, love. Dun, 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 dun. I'm trying to figure out why Kamala Harris is still sending me emails asking for donations. It says to hold Donald Trump and his administration accountable. How is my donation going to do that? You can unenroll. I think also we got to understand that they're asking technically, but they're not expecting it from money from people who don't have it. They're asking for money from people who have it. When people are asking me for money, I'll be like, "Girl, you're not talking about me. You talk about rich Karen." Mm. Well, if they are trying to put her as a front runner, then they need to start now. They definitely need to start now, making those inroads. But I think everybody needs to do that because one of the things that was quite annoying about this election is the amount of people who didn't go to vote. Not even worried about the people who did go to vote, the people who did not go to vote. So, how are you inspiring the people around you to go to vote? Like, how are you doing that? Because one thing that is quite a very, very annoying in this time is people who were, oh, don't vote for any of them. Palestine, 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 Palestine. While I'm pro Palestine, I fuck with Palestine. I want them to stop the genocide. How did it help you? How did it help your cause? I really want to know, like, how did a Trump presidency help your cause? Because now we see how it's going to affect. Like, they literally are passing legislation where nonprofits cannot support Palestinians because they're calling it a terrorist, supporting terrorists. So regardless of how you felt about Kamala and Joe Biden and how they are supporting Israel, I'm not saying that that's good, but they wouldn't have passed that bill. So this is what I was talking about on my TikTok when I said you're having to choose who you want to fight in January. You're gonna have to fight both of them, baby. You were going to have to fight both of them, either one, depending on which one you're gonna have to fight. But one is substantially worse. I use this as an analogy, a gamer analogy. It's like when you're playing a game, an RPG, and you got to go do these quests, these side missions to go get this piece of armor, this vestige, this something to be able to make sure, like say this is a fire breathing dragon, and you got to go get this vest that makes you less susceptible to fire. You're gonna have to fight this three-headed dragon at some point. One dragon is shooting water, one is shooting fire, one is shooting poison. But if you got the vestige that makes you less accessible to the fire dragon, you actually can beat this motherfucker. And that's how it felt. That's the analogy that I would use to describe it. Y'all were in a position where you actually could just be battling the Democrats to stop what's happening in Israel against the Palestinians. But now you're going to battle the Republicans, and they're about to wear you out. And you're not going to be able to do anything it's going to make it worse. Your attempt to help them is going to be worse and less effective, which didn't make sense to me. I agree, Elizabeth. Crazy. All right, so let's talk about. All right, we are at 140. Let's talk about the positive bills. Like I said, one of the things that I hated is that the left wing was not putting anything up to help. And so it's not all about defense, though. We're fighting for our community and to make Texas a safer place, more welcoming state for everyone. A few of these good bills include non-discrimination. The House Bill 11111, presented by Reynolds, Texans overwhelmingly support statewide protections for LGBT community. Like it is the state, they support protections for us. This bill would enshrine those protections in state law, meaning you can't be fired for being gay. You can't be turned away for being trans. You deserve to feel as safe in your own state as everyone else. This bill makes that possible. Non discrimination. Many states have it. Yeah, it should be in the law. It should be it. So it's good that they're trying to push that through. We'll see. Protection for trans ID while voting. Trans people already face heightened scrutiny and discrimination in public life, which makes situations where they need to present their photo ID, like voting, even more challenging and potentially dangerous. This bill will require all election workers to complete a competency sensitivity training related to trans voters, potential ID discrepancies, and their historical disenfranchisement. Mm, but if they're okay, that's cute. Establish the Office of Community Violence, HB 230, Rosenthal. This bill would establish a new office within the Department of State Health and Services that focus on studying the impact of community violence and coordinating effective strategies to address the problem. The office will focus on violence against the community as well as child abuse, elder abuse, family violence, and gun violence. Bam. So I think those are good ones. I don't think that they're bad. I was shocked when he said he won the popular vote. Brandon, real shocked. We should be done with shocked. After 2016, we should be done with shocked. We should know that this is a racist ass country and we should be not shocked with them aligning with him. It should be shocked. He was too close to winning in 2020 for us to be shocked that he has grown his base even more in 2024. So he literally has grown more and more support since 2016. We shouldn't be shocked. Disappointed? Yes. Shocked? No. Yeah, he never won the popular vote, but he has got each time he has gotten closer and closer and closer to winning it. It was only inevitable that he won it. But baby, they are going to push whatever they want through. His first 2 years, good God. These judges about to retire, and they gonna get some young Christian fundamentalists to be on them. Crazy. So what are y'all feeling? Like, do y'all feel the heat rising? Because what has me worried, one of the most striking, there's this moment on, I don't know if y'all ever watched it, but on Netflix, it is a documentary called El Dorado, and it is a documentary about queer folks in Berlin right before the Holocaust. And one of the most striking moments that really kind of stuck in my brain is when they asked them, what, looking back on it, what did they regret? And the thing that they said was, we didn't think that it would get this bad. By the time we realized that it would get this bad, motherfuckers was already in the gas chambers, on the train getting shipped to Auschwitz and all these places. We just did not think that it would get this bad. And so that being said, how y'all feel? Mm. It was an antiquated scheme. Yeah, it was an antiquated scheme to give Southern states more power. And now, mm, but yes, do y'all have any crazy bills that y'all heard about in your own particular state? Let me know where your state is and what bills have you seen coming up in your area. Because this is legislation time, honey. This is where those local elections really, really matter. Because these are the people that's bringing these laws up. I've been looking up asylum processes in different countries. What country would y'all want to live in if y'all had to move? What is y'all safe haven? Do y'all need a safe haven? Are you in a state that that you're safe in? I'm in Washington State. Oh, you good? Costa Rica is cheap. I am in South Carolina. I can't imagine leaving. But what if they start doing like crazy shit? Like that exactly what I was just talking about. When you talk about staying in where you live and you talk about staying in your happy place, but what if shit started happening? Like these radical motherfuckers is shooting up people's houses and burning shit. What if they start doing that kind of crazy stuff? And we are sitting waiting for the shit to happen because we think, oh, it won't get that bad. And that's why I said what I said about them when the queer people were saying, like, we didn't think that it would get this bad. And by the time we did, it was too late. I'm in Texas, so I definitely looking to move. I want to move to Ireland if I can. I want to go to Ireland for my birthday in February. I feel like I have to stay and fight. I'm expecting it. That's admirable. I go to China if I could. If I had the means, I think I'd be moving around the world constantly. They have houses in Japan. I've been looking at them. They have houses in Japan for now it's not in the city, but it's in the rural areas of the city, and you can get a house, like buy it for like 20,000. And I know some people don't have 20,000, but this is people if you do have a savings or you can save that up, it's an option. Um I was thinking places I was thinking about was um Amsterdam. I was definitely thinking about Ireland. Thailand, they love the lady boys. uh, um, my safe start would have to be continent, so the China or Africa. Yeah, I don't. Africa is getting too conservative because of Christian missionaries, so I don't really fuck with Africa like that. Um, If I was gonna go to Africa, it would probably be South Africa because they have a big LGBT community. But even there, I feel like Africa is getting too affected by Western ideologies, and I don't feel safe. I think if you are a cis het black person, I think that's perfect. I think going to Africa is dope. But for a queer black person, no, I'm not going to Africa. China, maybe. I don't know about China. I would go to Japan, Thailand. In Asia, I feel more like I would love to be in Bali. I would love to be in Japan, Thailand, Bali. Um, I feel like I can make some maneuver there. Plus the cost of living. Man, you can live so nice for like $1,000. You can live so nice. I research a lot of going to Japan as well. The citizens seem very live and let live when it comes to LGBT. They do, but they still mostly closeted. Japan has a low birth rate right now and declining population, so they are open to people migrating there in these times. Yes, they are. They're actually helping you do it. Yeah. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I just left up there. My brother lives in Marion, which is like an hour away from Columbus. Although we are a red state, our governor hasn't been as bad as most GOP governors. Also, I can't believe that Sherrod lost. Also, Columbus is a strong blue liberal city. Most cities are blue, so most cities are blue. Hopefully, I will be okay. I think if you live in a city, it's gonna take a while for you to see the effects. Because most cities are blue, but if you live in like a small town, you might have to leave, baby. And that's also a kind of dichotomy too, because on the other hand, it's conservative in the South when it comes to all this bullshit. But when you go to these fucking blue states that are not conservative, the cost of living and the capitalism done jacked everything up. You can't even get an apartment that's less than $3,000. You can't even live somewhere that's accessible in these blue states because the price cost of living in California is ridiculous. The cost of living in New York is ridiculous. It's crazy. But I'm excited to I don't know. I think I love the idea of going to yeah, the top of my list is Thailand and Bali, Japan, and Amsterdam. Why Amsterdam? I loved freaking Amsterdam. Amsterdam was so good when I was there. I had such a good time and it just felt different. Yeah, the cost of living in California is high. Even if you go to San Diego, you go to LA, you go to anywhere in California, any major city in California is high as hell. Um, but yeah, so the South is just substantially different when it comes to the cost of living. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. But yes, all right, y'all. I'm about to get off here. I wanted y'all to just to tell y'all what's going on. California is an outlier all itself. Hawaii too. Unfortunately, Colorado is getting up there too. Mm. Did you partake in Amsterdam? No. I don't smoke weed at all. I do edibles when I go on vacation because I love how I feel in the water when I'm on like an edible. So like when I'm on vacation, I will do an edible, but when I'm traveling, definitely not doing no edibles or nothing like that. But I don't smoke. I'm more of a sipper. I like a cocktail. But even like I don't drink recreationally at my house. I don't smoke or drink. Thank you, Deshaun. I appreciate you. Um, um, there are some gay men that also support the bill because of trans people. I mean, I get because of the kids at 7 years old. but Trump said all the transition will be banned. They don't think will be banned. They don't think. Um, well, the thing about so trans people are not getting sex changes at young ages. So that's number one. You call if you call any doctor that provides sex changes in America, they will tell you they do not operate on anybody under 18. Um, that is people who are outliers that I know of are really exceptional situations. Like Jazz Jennings, I think she had got her sex change when she was in her late 17, almost 18, and she had her parents, of course, support because her parents been supporting her since she was 5. Um, and I remember this is not in the United States. This is in the Netherlands or some one of those Dutch countries. Um, Kim Petras was like the at one time back in 2009. I think she was very very young when she got her sex change in her country, because she was supported by her parents. Her parents supported, got her hormones, and supported her transition. But it is a myth that trans kids are getting surgeries young like that. That's just a myth. And sex changes are very expensive. Yeah. Yeah, she was very, very young. She was young when she got her surgery. I'm trying to think of when it was. I think she was like 16. At the time, she was like the youngest. I don't agree with the bills passed that allows kids to choose what bathroom they want to use. Why don't you agree with that? Oh, I'm radical. I think trans people should be able to do what they want with their bodies under any circumstances. Not just trans people, um, everybody. I do not think the government should be able to regulate or rule how anybody under any circumstances, controversial ones or not, even if you want to kill yourself. If you want to kill yourself because you are going for, let's say that you're going through a terminal illness and you want to kill yourself, that you can't heal from that, and you don't want to go through the pain of going through the whole death process, and you want to kill yourself because you know you're gonna die. I think you have the right to do what you want to do with your body under any circumstances. Trans people, women, anybody. That is my stance, and it's a radical stance to some people, but I believe that you should have the right to do whatever you want with your body, period. I feel the same way about apartheid and genocide and all that kind of stuff. I do not feel that somebody has the right to ethnically cleanse you and kill you off and da 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 da. I am against it no matter what the circumstances is. Period. So people who said stuff like um any kind of, but what if this or what if that? I feel if I'm a trans person and I want to do something that's altering my body, it is my body. I should be able to do that. If I not just I'm saying trans because we're talking about the trans subject, but I think this about everything. I think if anybody, not just trans people, anybody, if they want to do something to their body, it is their body. Period. And the government to me does not have the moral high ground. They do not have the right. They don't get to say anything about what I want to do with my body. If it is not harming other people outside of me, I get to do what I want with my body. Period. If I want to have an abortion, I want to have an abortion. Y'all know I won't because I can't conceive children in that way. But as if I was a cisgender woman and I want to have an abortion, there is no circumstances that I feel a woman that I feel the government should have the ability to come in and say that I'm forced to have a baby as a woman or as a birthing person, as a non-binary person. Period. I don't think that anybody should be oppressed by their government or ruled or regulated by the government. There is no way that you should do that. I don't think that that is appropriate at all. So if I'm a trans child and my parents, and I think the nuance of trans children is that you don't become an adult till you're 18. Your parents are responsible for you. And because they are responsible for you and they're the ones taking care of you, they're the ones who you're on their insurance. Because of these elements, I think that the parents should have a say before you're 18. The parents should have a say in that support, but that's between the guardian of this child and their doctors. They get to make that decision, not the government. So I'm never gonna, there's no circumstances in the world. I don't care. There's no circumstances that I'm gonna be like, oh, well, what if they're getting it when they're too young? If their parents has given them permission to do this and they agree, that is on them. Because I'm also a person, this is another element to me. You are a human being. You have the right to make your mistakes. And there are going to be everybody in the world who are going to make mistakes about choices. And some of those choices are going to be permanent mistakes. They're going to have permanent consequences. You can be 24 deciding to get some fucking surgery and it goes wrong. And it has nothing to do with your transness. It could be something, it could be you getting some implants and something goes wrong. You made the decision to do this to your body, and there were some permanent changes that you can't fix. You're an adult. You got to accept it. That's just the facts of the matter. Hey, Trishawn. And you can I hate this argument about detransitioners. Well, so many, first of all, it's only 1% of trans people that are detransitioning and regretting it. That's number one. And so that's really uncommon. But sometimes you go down and you do something that you regret and you got to do a U-turn. And whatever the consequences, you ain't changed. That don't mean that I shouldn't get the opportunity to do whatever I want with my body just because you regret it with whatever the fuck you did. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Hello, Robert. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Because you regretted your transition, I transitioned early and I ain't regretted it a day of the rest of my life. Just because you regret it don't mean that I'm going to regret it, and that doesn't give the government justification to come in and say, no, this one person This 1% of people, of trans people, regretted it, and we don't want to. What? Get your ass out of my fucking business. And it usually is a regret from the social stigma, not the issue of being trans. Boom, Hannah, you are totally right. Most people who regret it is because of the stigma that comes with being fucking trans, not because, oh, I regret being trans. They can't change that. They regret what comes along with it. Or let's keep it good. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all motherfuckers. Or they regret the consequences of you got out here and didn't do the therapy, you didn't do what you needed to do and talk to the people that you need to talk to, and you went over to Mexico and got a sex change or went somewhere else. You didn't talk with people through it, or you didn't do your due diligence to make sure this is the decision that you wanted, and you went over there thinking you was gonna get this amazing pussy, and it turned out to be a mistake for you physically. And so the pussy ain't working like you thought it was going to work. And now you depressed about it because you didn't do this change for you. You thought you was about to come and get this pussy and get all the dicks because you transitioned for men. There's many of the girls who do that. Gonna keep it real. I transitioned for me. Whether I'm having sex or not, I'm gonna be a woman. Where I'm getting men or not, I'm gonna be a woman. When I'm celibate, I'm gonna be a woman. Yeah, I think we all have our journeys, and there are going to be some choices in your life journey there that are going to be permanent mistakes. They're going to be mistakes that have permanent consequences, and we cannot control everybody's permanent consequences. And it's definitely not the job of the government to come in and to control that. Stay out of our private lives. Stay out of our private shit. No. No government should be regulating our bodies. Period. At all. Under any circumstances. That should be you and your doctors. You are making the ultimate decision about your body, and your doctors are helping you make an educated decision about it. Your therapist, your doctor, your psychologist, whatever that goes, you and your doctors are making educated. You are making the ultimate decision, but your doctors, being the professionals, are giving you the information that you need to make the healthiest decision for yourself. And the consequences of it, you have to deal with it, good or bad, like everybody else. Somebody making some wrong decisions should not affect me and the decision that I want to make about my body. Period. True. Facts, 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 facts. We can't tell them about their guns, but they can tell us about our children, which bathroom we can use and what books we can read. That's bullshit. All the people I know who detransitioned went back to transitioning, or they strayed, transitioned, as they were all. Well, what do you mean by strayed? or they straight transition. What does that mean? And they were all except one or two people that dropped off the face of the earth. What is straight transitioned? Yeah. I don't know anybody in my state transition. Oh, so they didn't actually detransition. They just stayed. I don't know anybody in my personal life that detransitioned. I know some people on the peripheral. Um, I know some people on the peripheral that is like I have saw them living their truth and then detransition or living something that they were trying out. Um, yeah, but I just don't see it very often. I'm trying to think of the closest person. Most of the people who I know who detransitioned, it was because of the stigma. It was because of the problems that was coming with their lives because they could not pass. It was about passability. It was if they had passed, they would have continued. But because they don't pass and they were having issues with um getting jobs and all the shit that comes along with being a trans person that most people don't know that they're not going to be ready for. Um yeah, of being yeah, all the stuff that comes along with it. Like they weren't ready for that. And so they didn't know, they thought it was going to be, "Ooh, I get to have sex with boys. Ooh, I get to walk around in girl clothes." Ooh. They didn't know that it's a whole other shit that we got to deal with. Particularly if you don't pass. Particularly if you don't pass as a woman, it comes with a constant stressor. It comes with a constant stressor. And you have to be prepared for that. And some people are not prepared for it. That's just what it is. And you shouldn't. They see these beautiful girls, not knowing that it's expensive. Getting all the surgeries you want is expensive. Now we some of our ancestors or current people now have laid the foundation in some of these states to where you can go to the doctor and get your surgery. When you go to New York, you go to California, and you live in those places, you can go get all the surgeries you want on insurance. But most of us have to pay out of pocket, particularly if you live in outside of fucking New York and California. I think there's some other states that have insurance covering too, but in um in the southern states, no, we don't get our surgeries covered, child. No. And you pay out of pocket and it's fucking expensive. FFS is like for 20, 30,000 dollars. If now you pay out of pocket, you can go over to Thailand and get a sex change for $5,000 to $8,000, and it'd be a good one. But if you stay in America, once again, $20,000 to $30,000 for if you want a vaginoplasty, a good one. And there's gonna be multiple surgeries. Implants, that's the most accessible. So it can, it's gonna range it from 2,500 to 8,000. I don't know why anybody would spend 8,000 on some implants, but there are some implants that are high as shit like that. Um, BBLs. What prices are outdated? Well, if you're going to somebody for 100K, then you you can go to some of the top surgeons in the world for $30,000, 20 to $30,000. 100K is somebody who is too high. You can go to some of the top. Now, if you want to spend 100K, cool. But if you want a good surgeon, you can go to other places in the world and get absolutely amazing surgery. You can go to Dr. Supran in Thailand, who's been doing it for decades. 1,000K, that's like a Bentley. I'm talking about regular cars. Yeah. Mm-mm. You don't need to go to. I ain't even never heard of Miss June, Min June. But there are people who have been top of the line surgeons on the cutting edge of that are not 100K. That's like a Bentley coochie. And a lot of times people in those places, they only have those prices because they know the state will pay for it. If they live somebody somewhere else, their price wouldn't be 100K. But if you're paying out of pocket, you can find the top of the line vaginoplasty for a good 30K. And it can be cheaper if you go to top of the line in another country that's been doing it for decades. But if somebody charges you 100K, baby, this sounds like a California price because they know the state is paying for it. But yeah, that sounds like very much San Francisco, California. Yeah, I can see that. It better be gold plated, child. If you pay 100K for a snatch, baby, you crazy. It better be able to bear children. Amen. That motherfucker better bleed every month. I need you to construct some ovaries and everything. It need to drop eggs. I need to go through menopause when I hit 50, 45. It better do all the things, bitch. All the things for 100K. All the motherfucking things. My homegirl went to Marcy Bowers, trans woman. Marcy Bowers charged her 32, 32K. And this was 3 years ago. Um, who's the doctor in Montreal? There's a doctor in Montreal. A lot of the Canadian doctors, you can do it for a Q price. I have to get my dear boy from colleague to pay for it before I exposed him. Pitiful. That's one of them. This one starts with a G in my brain. I know Bashir. I done heard some bad stuff about Dr. Bashir. Um, I can't remember what his name is. It starts with a G though. But Dr. Bashard, I done heard some bad stuff about his cootie cats. I wouldn't consider him top of the line. But I wouldn't know. I'm not a sex change, but just based on the girls who have went to that. Mm. Yeah, he has. He's been around for a long time. I don't really. I didn't really follow Khalid. Is that his name? How you say it? Khalid like that. But my thing is, I feel like if you, I don't know. I feel like if you in the closet at this point and you just a regular gay, I feel like you setting yourself up. Like I'm like, like, why would you give somebody the power if you're not trying to be out? Then you need to be celibate. Because if you're a celebrity, they're gonna always try to put you're gonna that's gonna always be over your head for somebody to blackmail you, for somebody to do. It just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like it makes sense. I understand. I don't. Like it makes sense, but I don't understand. I don't understand being in the closet as a queer person in 2024. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I don't think it's worth it. Like I don't think it's necessary. I just don't think it's necessary. As a just a cisgender gay person, I don't understand. I don't understand you being closeted. It doesn't. Yeah, I just don't. It doesn't make sense. But all right, y'all. I'm about to get off of here because I need to go get me my evening snacks. I feel like some peanuts. But yes, make sure you're following your legislator and seeing what kind of foolishness they doing because they're about to throw it all at us now that they got the presidency. Come January, they're gonna try to wear us out, y'all. So just be prepared for it. But I will talk to y'all later. Be good. Bye.